Hello, I'm Tom Whitecotton. My son and I, Seth, are involved in a lot of different hobbies and crafts that we do, from soap to sausage to smoking meats. We decided we'd like to share some of these with other people, and this is actually only our second attempt on summer sausage. And what we're going to do today, we're starting with a pre-mix. And we've made this once before, and we felt like it needed a little additional flavoring, so we're adding whole mustard seed, coriander, fresh ground pepper, and liquid smoke to our mix. And we're making about a 15-pound batch. This right here is a friend of Seth's makes this. It's a hot pepper mixture. And we're going to add that to just 1 pound. That's a half a teaspoon.
It's called Hud's Fury. I don't think Dave will mind me sharing his name. David Huddleston. He's known all around the country for his expertise in hot pepper recipes.
So we're just going to put that in about 2 pounds, just one for him and one for us. The rest of them we're going to leave with the other basic spices here. We'll have you checking back with us a little later on. We're going to go ahead and stir up our mixture and start our ground beef. And on our beef, what we're using right now is 1/3 ground chuck, 2/3 hamburger. You have to have some fat in order to have success with summer sausage, or it's too dry and it'll fall apart.
What are the basics as far as preservatives are concerned when you're making something like this?
Well,
and what kind of casing do you use?
In this case, we're with the premix. There came a packet of
sodium nitrite.
Sodium nitrites, and then the casing we're using are a non-consumable cellulose casing. They say in venison that it's actually going to be beef stick. They're rather stiff. You have to soak them in hot, salty water for about 20 minutes to get them loosened up. And these are actually a 3-pound casing. We're only going to use about half of it, and then we'll tie them off and we'll be cooking those in the oven. We'll go into how to cook them a little bit later on. But this is the basic ingredients. It's really a pretty simple sausage to make, something you can definitely do at home. We're going to be using a hand grinder, which you'll see later, to stuff them.
We're back here. We've got our spices, our nitrates, and our water into this meat mix here now. Our water was 1 ounce per pound of meat. Now, this may look barbaric the way we're doing it, but what makes this acceptable is this area has been cleaned, sanitized, our hands have been washed, and we can't forget that this is going to be fully cooked, thereby reducing any harmful pathogens that might exist to a safe level. Plus, over time, the nitrates will turn into nitrites, I believe, in the sausage, which continuously decreases the counts of bacteria. Really, when you're dealing with this much amount of meat, unless you've got some kind of a commercial
ribbon
mixer, you know, this is really the only viable way to do it. You've got to mix the meat until it gets tacky. We're pretty well tacky here. That's when the proteins are breaking up and unraveling. That's what makes the meat stick together. And you really want that with summer sausage. That's what gives it a smooth texture. So we're about done mixing. We'll get back with you when it's time to put them in the sausage casings.
Okay, we're back. We're getting ready to actually stuff the sausages themselves. We set aside 2 pounds. We'll make it a little extra spicy. We're going to do that first so we get it through here. Before you put the casings on, though, we got the tube here that we have to fill. Seth, would you go ahead and demonstrate how we do that?
Yeah, you just start putting your meat in here into the hopper, and you gotta kind of use one of these little ones to get it going. And I'm gonna kind of use that once I get it down in there. You don't want to get your fingers in here.
Yeah, there's actually an auger inside of here, like a big screw, that drives it down through. It's going to fill this tube. We want to fill the tube first before we put these on. But this particular grinder is around $30. This is about the most inexpensive system you can use. And you can also use this for actually making your own hamburger, or you can stuff fresh sausages into natural casings and make hot dogs.
Yeah, we've got the knife and the extruder off of it right now, because all we're doing is stuffing sausage.
Right, we're taking pre-ground meat and going to stuff it. It's starting to come down the tube now. It's probably going to take about a pound of meat to fill the tube and the whole system first.
So the reason you do this first is to get all of the air out. You don't want any air in the sausage, because that, well, who wants a big hole in their sausage?
So here you can see it starting to come out. Now we're going to go ahead and put the casing on. These type of casings are this is a 2-inch casing, and it's a non-edible cellulose casing. These go on pretty easy. But see, there's some air in here. I'm going to squeeze the air out. The air out here. Okay, now Seth, go ahead and start cranking. You're going to see the sausage tube starting to fill. We're going to switch over to our standard mix, but we'll still, the first 2 pounds out will be our spices. Okay, we're at about 2 hours and 10 minutes into the project from starting from mixing our spices and stuff. We now have our sausages down here on the table. They're ready to put in the oven. We have the oven preset 170 degrees, and we're going to cook it for about 9 hours. It will. The packages right now, the casings are smooth and tight. When they're done, they'll be a lot more wrinkled and
they kind of draw up.
They draw up, and as the liquid moves out of it and it actually dries, they'll be, I would estimate, 20% smaller in diameter and pretty wrinkled up.
But it does draw up against the meat, just like any salami you buy whole at the grocery store. You gotta slice it and then tear off the outside. That's how these will end up.
Yeah, the casing is not edible.
So thank you for being
part of our project here.
Part of our project.
And we have to do the cleanup part now.
Yep, that's the least fun part. And as you'll see over here, tomorrow, or the next day, what? Maybe tonight, we'll be making soap. So, stay tuned for more episodes.